Cian Lewitt Pfizer's family has been harvesting oysters from this glacial fjord on the Irish border since the 1970s. 4 in 5 of the shellfish they take from these waters were bound for the UK. But that's changed since Britain voted to leave the EU.
The first step we took was to diversify into new markets because it was too risky to be exposed at that level to one market. And that was very frustrating because we've been selling oysters into the UK for such a long time.
A survey by Allied Irish Banks shows half of small businesses on both sides of the Irish border have made adjustments for Brexit. The rest, like Eamon Fitzpatrick's petrol station / hardware store on the border, have done nothing.
I've kind of give up on it because, you know, you're hearing that many different stories and there's people getting involved in it, and in a couple of days they're stepping down and there doesn't seem to be any head nor tail as to what way it's going, you know.
The border between the Republic of Ireland, which is part of the EU, and the UK's Northern Ireland has been the main sticking point in the Brexit process. Lawmakers rejected UK Prime Minister Theresa May's Brexit deal last month over the backstop provision meant to keep the border open.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
She's vowed to tweak the agreement to win support from members of the British Parliament.
By getting the changes we need to the backstop, by protecting and enhancing workers' rights and environmental protections, and by enhancing the role of Parliament in the next phase of negotiations, I believe we can reach a deal that this House can support.
But the EU is standing firm, and it's urging British MPs to reconsider the original deal.
The agreement we concluded last month with, not against Theresa May's government, including the Irish backstop, remains the best way to ensure an orderly withdrawal.
So our work continues.
May plans to bring a revised agreement before lawmakers in 2 weeks, about a month before Brexit Day. For some small Irish businesses, that's too close for comfort. Paolo Montecillo, TRT World.
Let's get more on the story now from Rajneesh Narula in London. He's a Professor of International Business Regulation at the University of Reading's Henley Business School. Always good to have you back on the program, Rajneesh. So Theresa May in Parliament has told MPs to hold their nerve, asking for more time for her to renegotiate the deal, really asking to do the impossible. What can she possibly secure from the EU at this stage?
Well, like your earlier speaker, a guest on the US, this is insanity. There is nothing really here. The EU has made it very clear that there isn't much space, there isn't any space to negotiate, unless they come up with some kind of miracle technological solution to the backstop. So it's very interesting that the entire attention has focused now on the backstop, not on the arrangements or the other arrangements like the payments or the future relationship between the EU and the UK, but it's entirely about the backstop. Now, I can't see what the EU is going to offer or what they can say, apart from making some fairy-like promises about some unknown technological solution. There isn't any way around the backstop.
Yes, and the opposition leader, Jeremy Corbyn, is accusing the Prime Minister of running down the clock so that she's basically going to be taking this debate to the brink of Brexit, the March 29 deadline, so that MPs will fall in line. Is this a plausible scenario?
Yes, I think there is no other way to do this. There are 27 working days between now and the 29th of March. And ordinarily, a treaty requires, there's a law that requires Parliament to have 21 days to debate and discuss it. So unless by some miracle, there is no miracle, sorry, it's impossible for them to come up with an agreement which they haven't yet agreed on and then put it in front of Parliament for 21 days. So now her solution is to say, let's reduce those 21 days, those mandated 21 days to 10 days or 5 days and force it through. Now there isn't any possible change of wording that will happen in the next 5 or 10 days. So I think this is all about saving her party. It's not really about saving the UK. The focus is entirely on domestic politics.
Yes, and we also heard Theresa May clarify her position on the EU customs union because, of course, Jeremy Corbyn had said if she agrees to keep the UK within that union, he might actually back her deal. Was it a surprise then that she ruled that out?
No, not at all. If she agrees to Jeremy Corbyn's suggestions, she essentially allows Corbyn to be the dominating one in Parliament, that he now is her equal. By implying that they are on equal terms, she loses the sense that she's in charge of a party and her party is in charge of the UK. It's very important for her that the Tory party remains the power in the country. So this is not, again, this is not about the Brexit agreement. This is simply about making a statement that we are better than the Labour Party, and we're not going to let the Labour Party tell us what to do, even if it's what we want to do.
Yes, and just a final thought then, given that it seems like she's stuck between a rock and a hard place here, is no deal better than a deal?
Oh no, there is under no circumstances no deal any good. I mean, there's all the chaos, in fact, the commentary about the oysters and so forth that you had earlier on. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Even if there is no deal on the 29th of March, they need an extension to negotiate how this no deal will look like. In the last few weeks, they've been trying to negotiate trade agreements with third countries, and the only countries signed up are places like Faroe Islands and Switzerland. The Japanese refuse to negotiate until they know whether there's a no deal or not. So having a no deal is it's like the economic equivalent of an atomic bomb.
Wow, okay. Some very unsettling times right now. Rajneesh Narula, always good to get your thoughts. Thank you.